Welcome to this 10-minute tutorial, and today it's all about colour drenching a room. I'm going to be showing you the best paint to use, the best rollers and tools, how to apply your paint to get that dramatic wraparound effect, all the prep you need to do, and of course the stunning end result. This is such an easy way to paint a room to create a bold yet simple look, and it works in literally any space in your home and with any paint colour, which is why it's one of my favourite ways to decorate. If you're looking to achieve this beautiful colour drenched look in your home, then there are a few key things you need to know first. So let's get into it. Now I am painting my bedroom in this gorgeous olive green colour head to toe, including the woodwork. So to get that woodwork prepped, you need to make sure any gaps or joins are filled or caulked, as this is going to give you that seamless, continuous colour drenched effect. You don't have to, but I'm painting our window boards in this same colour, so I'm using Caulk Once, my favourite ever caulk, to fill all the joins between the window boards and the wall. I'd recommend doing this at least one day before painting so it has time to fully dry. I will also be colour drenching our skirting boards in the same paint, which we're not fitting until a later date because we have fitted wardrobes yet to come. You can literally see the skirting boards lined up on the floor here, but the whole point of the colour drenching is that everything is one uniform colour, so make sure you caulk in your skirting boards and things like architrave before you paint. We're renovating our whole house, hence why we're a bit in pieces and the walls have only been painted with a mist coat, but if you're painting on top of existing paint, that's absolutely fine. Just check if anything needs caulking or filling before you do. If you have any rough patches on your woodwork, then I'd recommend a light sand down first so your new paint goes on super smoothly and gives you that fresh finish that we're after. Now onto paint. I am using this Intelligent Matte Paint by Little Green, which is great for colour drenching as it's multi-surface, so I can use the exact same paint on my walls, woodwork and coving. Other brands like Lick and Yes Colours are favourites of mine too, as many of their paints are multi-surface as well. However, if you're not using a multi-surface paint, you may need to buy a separate emulsion for your walls and ceilings, and then an eggshell or specific wood paint for your woodwork. But my recommendation is to go for an all-in-one multi-surface paint to save you the hassle. Now first of all, we're going to cut in around all the edges and corners of your walls and ceiling. This is the beauty of colour drenching. You don't need to be too precise and get a sharp line anywhere. You can brush this on without worrying about keeping your walls and ceilings a separate colour, which is great. We are doing this first so you sort of have an end point to roller your paint up to, rather than having to fill in those corner gaps afterwards. And while you don't need to be precise, do make sure you're brushing it on smoothly, back and forth in one direction, so you don't get any drips or chunky brush marks here. And I'm just using a 1.5 inch brush. You could definitely use a bigger one, whatever takes your fancy. Now we had coving installed, as you can see here, and it's quite large. We wanted an ornate Victorian style to match the era of our Victorian home, which was built around the 1890s. But if you've got smaller coving or no coving at all, not a problem. You just do as I'm doing here along any corners or joins you have between your ceiling and wall, or ceiling, walls and coving. You can see how deep and strong this colour looks here already against the white, and I did get a slight wobble on the colour choice at first because I've never painted with a colour this dark, but absolutely trust the process if you're going for a similar shade because the end result is going to look fantastic. That cutting in also extends down the side corners of your room, just anywhere where you wouldn't be able to get a roller right in there. Slap a lick of paint over it with your brush. Once your cutting in is complete, then you can start rolling the paint on your walls, the exciting part, and this is where you're going to start seeing that transformation really come to life. Now because there's two of us painting here, we sort of tag team different sections of the room. However, it is usually advised you start by painting your ceilings first. This is so you don't splash or flick any paint from your roller down onto freshly painted walls in the process of painting your ceiling. But let me just show you some satisfying visuals of that paint going on the walls. A gorgeous colour, as you can see, and I'm using a 12-inch microfiber roller here on an extendable roller pole. Everything I'm using is linked in the description for you, and I use this size because it's going to cover so much more area at once, making your job a lot quicker and easier than using a smaller roller. I use an extendable pole because you can get two hands on it and really spread that pressure on your arms evenly, rather than using a short roller that puts all the pressure through one hand. And of course, an extendable pole is a must for painting ceilings, so you don't have to get up on a ladder and get neck ache while you're at it. But I am going to be using a smaller roller for my woodwork, which I'll be showing you how to do in just a moment. And when rolling the paint onto your walls or ceilings, you want to fully load that roller up so it doesn't roll on in patches. You want a continuous transfer of paint from your roller roller to your wall. If you've ever used a paint roller before, you may find the paint rolls on in sort of stripes where some sides of the roller aren't fully coated in paint. We do not want that, so really take the time to coat every side of your roller. And of course we're going back and forth, up and down in the same direction, not all over the shop here, because if you roll in different directions you may end up with visible patches of where it's been applied differently. So work in stripes down your wall or across your ceiling so you get an even, consistent application. Now this was a really hot day, not the best for painting, so our paint was drying faster than usual, but we're still getting a good first coat coverage. And as I said, trust the process, because your first coat is not your final result and the second coat is what really makes it. Now, colour drenching really does mean everything inside your window reveals and all the woodwork around your windows if you have any. This is a smaller, more detailed area, so I'm grabbing that same 1.5 inch cutting in brush to go right up to the edge of the window reveals. That's where the window meets the wall. And I'm using a small 4-inch microfiber roller to smoothly apply the paint to our window boards. These are made at MDF and they came pre-primed, which makes the job even easier. I used that same roller on the wider parts of the window reveals just to keep that consistent roller finish around the whole room. I am so happy with how this paint is going on. It's looking so dreamy already. You can see if I had left the window boards bright white, they'd probably look a bit odd against the colour drenched room. But as you can see, we've still got a fair bit of detail to paint in this space to achieve that colour drenched effect, the coving, the ceiling rows, and you can do these first or last, totally up to you, but we came to them last in our painting day. Now the coving and ceiling rows aren't made of plaster, they are the lightweight polyurethane alternative, which are fantastic for getting that grand historic feel without any heavy plaster work. And the ceiling roses in particular are so easy to fit yourself. I got this one from eBay, it's linked in the description, but they're available to buy online at so many places. And even better, you can DIY fit them yourself so easily. I've got a whole video live on my channel right now showing you exactly how to do that if you do fancy giving it a go. They're also fully paintable straight out the box, so we didn't have to prep or prime them, just going straight in with that same paint and the same brush we've been using all day. However, as this coving is quite big, we did also grab a larger brush to cover it quickly and get the paint right into all that ornate detail. It's a slightly plasticky finish to paint, so we did find this needed more coats than the walls. I think we did about 3 coats in total rather than the standard 2 we did on the walls and ceiling. But again, you can see how the colour drenching effect takes hold here and makes everything blend seamlessly together while still retaining plenty of character. This green colour is more on the traditional side for me, although it's more of an olive green rather than the Victorian it colour of the 19th century that was called Shields green, but that was made from a blend of copper and arsenic, so not the ideal mix to be painting your walls with. Now what I do love about colour drenching is not only that there's not a lot of precision needed with the cutting in and the usual colour separation you might have, but it's that it looks so dramatic but it is so easy to do. Very beginner friendly, DIYer friendly, so whether you've painted a lot of spaces in your time or you're a first time DIY painter, this is absolutely achievable at any level of ability. And modern paints are better than ever, so being able to get multi-surface paint that works around your whole room makes this DIY decoration so much easier and more accessible. As you can see, the first coat on the coving is fairly patchy, and that's because of the non-absorbent material it's made from, but layering up a few coats is going to get us that strong, solid coverage we're after, so keep watching to see that come to life, because it does look spectacular if I do say so myself. And yes, we have a big blank wall here still, and that's because we're going to be wallpapering this wall with a big dramatic mural. Do subscribe and watch this space for that DIY coming very soon, but you always want to paint before wallpapering so you don't splash any paint onto your fresh paper and ruin it. And of course, if you're painting a room that's already carpeted or has final flooring down and maybe it's furnished, do clear the room first and protect that flooring and anything you don't want to get covered or splashed with paint. Now that is our first coat very nearly finished. We're going to let this fully dry for at least a day before coming back to second coat everything. And a little hack, you can wrap your brushes and rollers in cling film between coats to stop them drying out if you're coming back for the second coat the next day. This saves washing them up and they are ready to use straight away. Now onto the second coat, and you can see how solid the coverage looks from the second we apply this paint. We're using the exact same roller, again painting in the same direction, section by section, with that roller evenly coated in the paint, no patchy application. We're getting that lovely smooth roll we want. And I'm back with the same brush, coating the architrave in that same paint. To achieve that colour drenched effect, you do want to paint all of those details, and you can even paint your door to get that full seamless blend too if you like. Another great hack is to rinse your rollers in the sink, but then pop them in your washing washing machine by themselves to fully clean them up. It is so much easier than spending ages at the sink with them. Once the walls had had their second coat, we could move on to those final coats on the coving and ceiling rows. Back to brushes here, and while it takes a while to get around, it's so worth it because the ornate Victorian style detail is just looking magnificent in this colour. And that is it. We are fully colour drenched. This room is ready for the next stages. So wardrobes, skirting boards, carpet, fireplace, furniture, it is all yet to come. And this wasn't the best light for filming, but you can see that full dramatic effect colour drenching gives you, making our bedroom feel so grand and opulent. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you with your own painting projects and encourages you to go bold with your own home decor. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for loads more beginner friendly DIY tutorials and to see this bedroom fully come to life.